Sometimes in life, you find yourself on the right side of the line.
If you had a mullet, it would be out of business in the front and party in the back.
Sorry about tomorrow.
What's the point of the wife beater?
Live from Texas, this is the Dryline Farmer Podcast. You hear that? It's Brent and Landon, and this is the Dryline Farmer Podcast.
Well, I wish we could have recorded the past 42 minutes that we've been talking, but unfortunately, Landon did not sign off on it, nor did I ask for the right, so we're going to have to start recording now. But this is the Dryline Farmer Podcast, and Ashton, as always, is right. It's just Brent and Landon. Landon is... how is all the margin calls going with all these farmers that sold their stuff at the bottom?
Oh, it's so much fun. Every day we hit a new low point with our self-esteem.
So from like your brokers, do y'all get like mugs or do y'all get like free caps at the end of every year when corn goes really high?
I'm pretty sure this year we're going to get like fishing trips.
Fishing trips.
Maybe a cruise.
There you go. Cruise once the COVID lifts. Or they might give you your own cruise ship, man. It's a good time to be alive when corn's above the $5 mark. But yeah, it's great to actually see the prices go up. And that's not an input, even though I'm sure all the fertilizers and the fuels and the herbicides are all moving lockstep with the corn and soybean price. But Landon, have you ever handled soybeans?
Nope. I think the whole time I've been at the co-op, we've taken in like half a dozen loads maybe.
And it probably still got mixed with a load of wheat.
Yeah. We still had like three injury claims on that.
3 injury claims, yeah. You still had an oil fire.
Slippery stuff. Those employees, they slip all over that crap.
I'll tell you what, man. Yeah, I was like when we were growing sunflowers, man, that
Workman's
stuff. Oh, yeah, workman's comp was just going out the ass there, man. Yeah. No, when we were growing those sunflowers, it was like that stuff had to be like, what was it? Hell, it had to be like 6 or 7% moisture. I mean, it had to be freaking bone dry before they would take it because the oil, I guess, was a big problem and they didn't want to get it.
Didn't you say like you could pack those semis as full as you could get them and they wouldn't even be close to overweight?
Oh, yeah. You could be spilling off all 4 sides and you wouldn't gross. You might gross 70. Maybe.
Really? Wow.
Maybe if you dropped a lot of dirt in there. But so we hauled them in. So when we hauled them in are just our regular trailers. But when they hauled them out, they had those high-sided ones and they were probably grossing 80. But
where do you take those?
Well, we took them down. Most of the time we took them down to Hell Center, which is about an hour drive. There was one year we got lucky and we got to take it to the old Holly sugar plant and dump them in those nice A-frames. So that was pretty handy. But that's been, gosh, we hadn't had them in 2 or 3 years now. But boy, those things must be cold weather tolerant because our neighbors that had sunflowers last year, they've had volunteer flowers up for like 3 weeks now. And
wow.
And they got a good solid crop of volunteer, but fortunately they're pretty easy to kill. So I know they're going to probably put corn in behind those, but they got a good cover crop of sunflowers. It's pretty good. But I guess, hey, Landon, check it out. We're doing farm talk. That's awesome.
What are we doing? We're not a farm podcast.
We're not a farm podcast. But this is, I haven't seen one stalk of volunteer corn yet, and that's probably. So we're not going to plant yet because, well, first of all, the planter's not ready. But second of all, man, we've just gotten so cold. And, of course, hell, we're still pre-watering on some of our stuff. And we've got some fields that have got rye that are still there that are going to get chopped and hauled off. So we're not in any really big hurry. I know it's going to be like close to 90 this weekend. but it's going to get back down to average temperatures in the 70s, so that's real nice. So that's a good sign. It's not going to stay above 90 for the next, 90 to 120 days. So
I don't know. When you're reading reports that it's going to be 2011 like conditions, it's just hard to get excited.
I am, so the 2011 comparison is like calling somebody a Nazi or a Hitler. It's so over the top. That's never going to happen again. And I don't care if it is going to happen again. I know the Nazi deal won't, but that is like the Nazi of weather. You can't, don't use that as a comparison. Okay, 12 wasn't as bad as 11, but it sucked just a little. People always ask me what 12 was like. It's like, it just sucked a little less. Okay, you can compare stuff to 12. Hell, you could even compare stuff to 2020, just from a weather standpoint as a farmer. And you would be closer to a reasonable comparison than that dumpster fire that was 2011. And that was even before dumpster fire became a thing. So
I know, man, I know in 12, every time it rained, I was right in the middle of it. It was unreal. It was very fortunate.
Yeah, I think that year it rained a lot more in town than it did out here north of town.
Oh, so, yeah. In July that year, I was off. I was shut off at least 12 days, I think.
I think I was off too, but that's because my big well was down. So,
because you weren't paying your electric bill.
yeah. It's because I was defaulting on my vendors. So yeah, no, but so you can't use Nazis as a comparison, and you can't use 2011 as a comparison. It's just even though it's almost. I'm listening to 1984 right now. Landon, did you have to read that book in high school? You did, didn't you?
I think we did.
That book is so lost on teenagers, it's not even funny. Because, I mean, I read it, and I thought it was pretty neat. There's no way I appreciated it like I do now. Of course, we've literally got a lot of that stuff going on right now. So it's and then I read Animal Farm, too, and that's pretty close to...
yeah, we read that one, yeah.
It's pretty... all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others, and that's pretty much what we got going on now. So, but
still feel bad for the horse.
Still feel bad for I forgot what his name was. The general, or it was like a military name, wasn't it? I can't remember.
Probably something like Abner. Who knows? Abner.
But Chester,
Old Buck. But no, that and Lord of the Flies, man. Kept wondering when are the flies going to show up. This is.
Yeah, this isn't a Christian book, ma'am. I thought I was waiting. Jesus never showed up in Lord of the Flies. It was kind of concerning. So
going home and reading Harry Potter. So
yeah. Back then we were at home there was one book in junior high that was like 400 pages long, Watership Down, and I think I read about maybe 50 about the stupid rabbits, and it's probably a good book. But again, you're giving a 400-page book with no pictures to 8th graders to read, and 8th graders that don't like to read.
True.
So
remember in high school we had to read like a certain amount of pages every 6 weeks, and my mom had all the Harry Potters on tape, and she'd play them in school. So I'd get those and like be playing video games at home, listening to that crap.
Oh yeah, now like I got Audible on my phone, and all the books on video. They got it so like I don't even know if they probably don't even give them books anymore to read because it's so easy just to listen to them. You can listen to them like at 1.3 speed, or if you're really smart, 1.5 speed, and get through that bitch in like a weekend, and then you can go listen to it again and go listen to it again. So it's I don't know, they got it way easier than we did.
Wouldn't 50 Shades of Grey be like the best book of all time to read fast?
Well, if you're a teenage,
wow, that was really quick.
If you're a teenage boy, that's all it takes, man. Pretty quick, 50 Shades.
That book was not as fulfilling as I thought.
Boy, that really went by fast.
I've read better books.
Yeah, I've had better, not many, but some. Well,
that would be one book you wouldn't want in Braille.
Those are sticky pages.
What the hell am I touching?
Yeah, that's not a oh man, yeah.
Why is this wet?
Oh, it just keeps getting worse. Well, I wonder what ooh is in Braille. Just like dot 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 dot
Yeah.
dot 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 dot. Yeah.
Have you ever looked up the YouTube video where Gilbert Gottfried's reading 50 Shades of Grey?
Yeah. Oh, it's so funny.
No fisting, you say?
Yeah. Oh, son of a bitch.
I agreed to the fisting.
Oh yeah, he's so funny. Oh man. Well, guys, that's not really worth rioting over, but that's supposed to be our episode title this week. Since so when in Rome, Landon, you got to do, as they say, as the Romans do. So and there's a lot of that going on right now with all the civil unrest going on in our country. You would think this is like, I don't know, 1950s East Germany, but because we're not going to compare it to the Nazis because we're not quite there yet. But this is getting close to Eastern Germany with all the rioting and everything. Which in East Germany you couldn't blame them for rioting. Over here you can give them a few. You can blame them quite a bit. But we've got a list, or rather I do, because Landon doesn't really. Just like in junior high and high school, he didn't do his work ahead of time, even though I only gave him the assignment 20 minutes before we started. And as it turns out, an hour because we gossiped for 45 minutes. But nonetheless...
Yeah, I was swinging in the local playground with a 3-year-old. my 3-year-old.
Okay, there's a sound effect that's going to come in here later, so just be prepared for that. That actually may be in the intro. But things worth rioting for. Now, Landon, I know you've been mad. I've heard you be really mad and upset over the years. And I haven't seen you riot.
Usually about my hair loss.
Yeah, well, I am on that same track because... So, okay, real quick, Landon, when did you start noticing it? And from the first time you noticed it, how long did it take to get to where you're at now?
So I started losing it my senior year, and pretty much by my sophomore year of college, it was pretty much a foregone. By my junior year of college, I was buzzing my head.
Were you ever comb over?
Does that look a lot? No. Oh gosh, no.
That's too bad. That's too bad. No, it's so. I've got, as we said last week, as George Costanza says, "Live, damn it, live."
Yeah. And of course, when I still had a chance to live, I was like 17.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Didn't have any money or was not legally able to do a lot of the living.
Yeah, a lot of the living. Yeah, you were just a single kid with a receding hairline.
I was begging for a prom date with a ball cap on. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this is now that we're married, I mean, we can just let ourselves go. So it's just I'm still hot, but yeah, it's you got to snag them quick because you only get uglier and like saggier. So I
always recommend if you're going bald, just put on 30 pounds of pure muscle and get a tan. I'm just kidding. I didn't do that.
You did, dude. If you put on either one of those, you would get cancer because you're so freaking pale faced and red, like complected. Yeah. You would be one big tumor walking around the sun deck. Yeah, it'd be kind of scary.
Me and the sun are not friends.
No, definitely not. But that may be something to riot over. Well, that's what we're gonna do today. We're talking about things that justifiably you should riot over, or at least I'm gonna riot over because these things make me mad enough to. I don't know if it's mad enough to like steal like a 70-inch plasma, or I don't guess they do plasma anymore, but like an LCD TV, or I don't know, Landon could be mad enough to riot to, I don't know, you'd want to break into like a Radio Shack and get their oldest flip phone that you could find, maybe a VCR if you're lucky.
Dude, they're coming harder to find. As soon as this one goes out, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe join the real world. But so Landon's got his things where he can be mad at. So I'm going to start it off here. Now, obviously, there's the obvious things. I'm going to start out with a little more. Now, Landon, do you ever listen to talk radio during the office hours on your computer? Sports talk or?
No, I usually listen to Ben Shapiro during the day.
I see.
But other than that, it's pretty much 70s or 80s music.
Now that I'm not surprised by, but okay, so I listen to I'm around the radio most of the day, and I listen to, of course, Jim Rome during the lunch hours and all that, and I can't remember if it's not just during his, but also during Hannity or whatever. But whatever the case, they need to get a new set of public service announcement commercials because they are really thin and they are really overrun. Because I don't know how many DWI PSAs they put out on the airwaves, but it's way too many. And I'm getting to where I really want to throw a small child or maybe lamps through a window because not only because of the redundancy of and the overplaying of these commercials, but the content of the commercials. So the main one that I always think about is so this guy's driving home from the bar or whatever, and he's supposedly he's drunk, and his like Siri comes on, like it's this computer voice, and like it's the navigation. It goes, "Why are you driving so slow?" And the guy says, "Hey, after a few drinks, I'm taking it slow." I'm like, okay, what part about that is irresponsible? He sounds fine. You can't smell anything on his breath, and he's taking it slow. Okay, so set the stage there. And then the voice comes back on, "Well, you're not fooling the cop behind you." And he's like, "Oh, fuck." But he didn't say. They bleep it out. But I'm like, okay, so he's driving carefully. He sounds completely control of his faculties. And now you're going to find this dude 20 grand and whatever else and throw him in the hole for a weekend maybe or something. Or if he's, Texan, he's going to bust out in 6 hours, but, go all Chuck Norris. But this guy sounds perfectly fine. It's like, hey, buzz driving is drunk driving. What about looking down at your phone driving? That's like, they said it's worse, 100 times worse than drunk driving is looking down at your phone during driving is like 10 times more dangerous than drunk driving. And now they're going to...
I'm more concerned about if these GPSs, if you tell them you're drunk, if they're going to start calling the cops.
So, I guarantee, Landon, don't be surprised when I say this, but I guarantee, because we know people, or I've heard of people that have had these breath, machines on their car where it won't start if they don't blow into it. Do you think, I'm sure they already talked to him, don't you figure?
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
Point 247. You are shit-faced. Don't even think about it, or, if you're just barely over the limit, close, but no cigar, something like that. I mean, at least make it humorous. I mean, it still can't start the car, but at least, make Siri have some good humor about it. 0.37. That is not a girl. She is
You're
a
dude.
A
lightweight.
Yeah. What is your problem? You had one Cosmo and Chilton. Why are you hammered?
Yeah.
Sorry, you're gay. Something like that.
Don't those things now, like, you have to do them ever so often, like even while you're driving? Like,
I think that's right.
Because I used to know a guy that we went to school with that he had one of those, and he would go to the bar. He would go to the midnight rodeo, and he'd just leave his pickup running while he was in there. He'd be in there for a couple hours or however long, and just leave his pickup running the whole damn time.
Oh my god!
And this guy.
It was probably a white dually.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I know who it is. Yeah, no, that I tell you what, if nothing else, it's commitment. I mean, if you want to go to the bar, that's commitment.
Yeah. If you want to drink and drive, there are ways to do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. So, those commercials, and the other commercial is they run this commercial about parents yelling at refs at high school, like football, basketball games. And it's the same.
I can't wait till I can do that.
You what?
I can't wait till I can do that.
Oh yeah. I mean, okay. This is more of the redundancy part of it. Is like, but also the content, because so there's a guy and a girl and they're doing this back and forth or whatever. It's like, it's ridiculous. We have to make this commercial, but don't make us do it again because we will. Like, I'm sitting there driving down the highway and I got the radio talking down to me and I hadn't even done anything yet. But I mean, like, yeah, so there are assholes that, I mean, like, go overboard and yell at, refs and just lose their freaking minds. I'm like, dude, it's a JV girls basketball game. Nobody's getting a scholarship tonight. Okay. Take it easy. Even if they're a star, they're going to be on what, the LA Sparks, I mean, no offense to women's sports, but I mean, let's be honest. So
yeah, Yeah, you're gonna just wait till your daughter gets to college and she's playing against men. I mean, it's gonna.
Yeah.
It's
Dudes in dresses or something. It's yeah.
This is about as good as it's gonna get. So just enjoy it.
Yeah, high school. Yeah, exactly. So those things make me want to throw another child through a window, like a storefront window, because I don't know. I know I could change the channel, so don't even before you even go there. So just stop right there. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I'm gonna riot because it's not raining, but we've already covered that multiple times because it's just gonna rain when it does. So that's just that's a nightmare I have every night. But relating to that, the 7-day accumulated precip map on the National Weather Service website. I don't know. Again, I know I don't have to look at it, but it's in my bookmark. It's not even it's not just a favorite. It's in my bookmarks bar that runs across the top of my browser, and I pull it up every day except during the wintertime because God knows it doesn't do anything here during the wintertime except get to like 11 below zero. So, but it makes me want to throw the monitor of my computer through another window. And I don't know if that's a little redundancy there, throwing a monitor through a window that's running a Windows program. But whatever the case, especially the graphic they have on it right now, because basically the entire country except the western Texas Panhandle, all of Arizona, New Mexico, which is a desert. Arizona's not supposed to get any rain. Utah and Nevada. Everywhere else is getting not just a little rain. They're at least getting 2 or 3 inches. And I know there's some people out there who haven't had 2 inches at one time at their place in like 3 or 4 years, even though the rest of the country had like a whole half a foot in one night. But it makes me really mad. And I don't know who to be mad. I mean, who do you riot to? I mean, it's just you're not even the dudes at the Weather Service aren't drawing it. It's just a computer, I don't know, computer program or algorithm or whatever. But whatever the case, it just, those colors make me mad. Like right now, Landon, we're actually, if you pull it up, we are actually in a color. But let me go here. So the 5 to 7 day, we are actually no, we're not even in the light green. So it goes, the light green, it goes from like, if you want to go down I-40 basically. And then once you get to Amarillo, it hits a straight line and goes to Lubbock. And like, that's all light green, which that's the 1/100th to 1/10th of an inch area. And once you get to the state line, it gets to 1/2 inch to 3/4. But once you get over to Arkansas, you get into the 5 to 7 inches. And of course, that's obviously rice country. But whatever the case, it's just, I mean, I put on Twitter here a little earlier. When it comes to the 7-day accumulated precip map, we are the chick with the clap that everyone knows that she has the clap, because ain't nobody touching that with a 10-foot pole or a 100-mile pole in this case. So,
True. Yeah. Being in the 1/10th ratio is kind of like the girl on Dumb and Dumber telling him that he has a 1 in a million chance.
Yeah, yeah. What was all that 1 in a million talk? Yeah, that's so. I mean, it really makes you want to blow your head off. But whatever the case, it's angering and enraging. But I'm also getting pretty angry about why they haven't cured mesothelioma yet. Because I mean, why? I mean, we're obviously aware of mesothelioma. It's not from a lack of awareness. How long have those commercials been on? Ever since they figured out asbestos caused cancer? I mean, isn't that really what it's from? Is asbestos? Basically, the mesothelioma. So. Yeah, I mean, you work in an industrial. I mean, you're an office guy now, but you're Jim Halper. But you worked in the out in the industrial part of your business there, and I mean, you'd probably inhaled a little grain dust, and I don't know, there was probably a little, I don't know, mice droppings or asbestos that got mixed in there. But so far, you're doing all right, aren't you?
Well, I'm bald, but
well, no, yeah, you were that before then.
I think I'm okay. I was pretty adamant about wearing the dust mask, but who knows? Who knows how good that can do?
But yet you won't wear a mask now. Ain't that ironic?
Whatever. No, I don't know, man. I don't miss those days.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody wouldn't miss those days. That is, it sounds awful.
Spending 10 hours in a Milo barn in August is not ideal.
It's so damn sexy. Yeah, sweating Milo dust, that's got to be one of the most comfortable things that's ever been felt, outside of a Saw movie. It's pretty...
I'm telling you, man, it would be 100, it would be over 100 degrees in August, and I would be in there in a long sleeve shirt.
And I never believed that, but it's actually cooler with the long sleeve shirt. I wouldn't have believed it.
No, it's not cooler. You just don't itch as bad. That Milo, man,
Oh.
it'll kick
Well,
your ass.
yeah. Oh, yeah. But I mean, if you wear those long sleeve like fishing shirts, those Magellan shirts, it actually is cooler because when you sweat and it sticks to your shirt and you go to, your whole body smells like swamp ass. You are
Dude.
cool. You are cool though.
Man, I had a guy helping me one time, and he was going to run the skid loader all day in there, and he's in a tank top. He's in a wife beater. He covers his upper body in baby oil. He says if you cover yourself in baby oil, you won't itch from the Milo. So he claims he didn't itch, but dude, if my phone would have had a camera back then, you should have seen this guy when he came out of there at the end of the day.
Just coated.
Just pasted. It was freaking awesome.
Did he itch?
He said no, but I didn't believe him.
Yeah. Jeez, that's nuts.
Oh.
That is nuts. Yeah.
I'm like seeing a 45-year-old lather up in baby oil right in front of you.
Sounds like a Family Guy quote. Have you ever seen a 45-year-old guy lathered up in baby oil and Milo does, Stewie? Oh, hello, fat man. Yeah, it's something else.
I think if I was going to write about something, since we're kind of on commercials, it would be, why does every TV show, whether it's sporting event or not, even sporting events, how do they all go to commercial break at the same exact time?
Oh, it's amazing. I think they're on a loop. Well, like you got your college basketball games, and they have like their under 4. I remember overhearing it one time. It's like, well, we're at our under 4 minute break, so they got staged breaks when it's not a timeout or something. Still
though, how did 2 games get to within 4 minutes at the same exact time? I mean,
I know it's amazing.
Or like baseball, what do they do? Like phone into the pitcher, like, hey man, you got to count. We got a commercial break coming up. Walk him,
dude. We got 3 mesotheliomas and a DWI PSA coming up, dude. You're gonna have to strike this guy out like right now. Yeah. Either that or throw him a melon, dude, because we're going to break either way. Yeah, it's Well, being at those, like at the football games, televised ones, and they'd have that guy out there on like the 20-yard line with like the hunting gear suit, the hunter orange, safety orange suit on. And he'd have that one like palpation, cow palpating glove on that's orange. He'd have his arm up so the refs could see him from 50 yards across the field to let him know when we're off a commercial. Yeah. Yeah, that was always great. I don't know why I always picked up on that, but it was just one of those things that I really thought was funny.
I can be watching 3 shows, and every damn one you go to change it, it doesn't matter. There it is.
Yep. It's an amazing deal. They're scheduled.
That's why I like watching golf, because they'll go to commercial, but they'll keep showing the golf
playing through. Yep.
Who wants to hear somebody talking when someone's golfing anyway?
Yeah, and the golfer on the small screen's all pissed off because they're talking while he's putting. So yeah, no, it's
sure.
Oh yeah, first world problems to say the least. Well, so yeah, that kind of stuff it burns you, it rubs you the wrong way. So I don't know why, and like the breast cancer awareness. Is there not a dude on the planet that's not aware of breast? I mean, anything you could say like a chicken breast, and they're aware of it. I guarantee you there's more men that are aware of breast cancer than women are. I mean, we're all aware of it. If there's a lump on a woman, we're looking. I know that's wrong, but it is the truth. So anyway, and this is more of a local thing. I don't know if it's really a local thing, but one thing that makes me want to riot is most of the coaching hires of the Texas Tech football team. That is makes me want to throw a football through a window or something. So,
you didn't like our new basketball coach?
I said football team.
Oh, football. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's another thing you could write about is me listening.
Not listening during a podcast that you're a co-host of, but whatever. So,
sorry, I just got done cringing after your breast cancer talk.
That makes me riot. If I got kidney stones, I believe I would riot, if nothing else, just to drown out the pain of me. I'd rather get beaten with a baton than have a kidney stone. I've never had one, but I know
you don't have to riot, because what I've heard, it's kind of a riot in your pants.
Oh, well, it's a riot in your back is what it. Yeah. Oh, my dad had him. He was curled up in the fetal position on his bed. Like we didn't know what was wrong, and went in there, and he was freaking just like locked down in pain. It was,
Really?
I mean, they said, I mean, like, so, it's in your kidneys. Well, it hurts the worst when it goes down from your kidneys to your bladder, because those ureters are the narrowest passage. Once it gets down to your business, I think it's a little wider passage, but
That narrow urethra?
well, no, your business, that's but it's like the pain is in your back, I think, and it's just, I mean, like it's just the worst you could ever imagine. But
I'm trying to think. I think I heard it described once as like, imagine exiting your car through the exhaust pipe.
with the same amount of heat. Yeah.
Yeah. Did he come out whistling like Kramer when he passed it?
No, I don't remember. I wasn't there for the finale, but I know he.
Y'all weren't in there with the home video.
Landon, I'm gonna break in here with the news flash. Corn is down a penny.
Uh-oh. It's a bluff.
The top's in. Yeah. So.
No, yeah. Back to our Texas Tech coach. Yeah, our football coach is pretty crusty.
Yeah, pretty crusty. Yeah,
it's been pretty crusty since Leach got
pretty crusty. Yeah,
the end of the pick.
See, we had who have we had? We've had Tuberville, we've had Kingsbury, and now this Wells. Yeah. It's we all knew Tuberville was a bust. Everybody thought, or I don't know if all the girls thought it, but everybody thought Kingsbury was going to be this like, young wonderkins guy and going to lead us to victory, and he did
exactly
like I thought. He inexperienced, and he was buddies with the coaches, and not only
he started out hot. He started out 7-0, and then we didn't win another game that first year till the bowl.
when we got done playing Oral Roberts and Amarillo College, we started losing games. So but and then not only does the guy go to a Tier 1 school, he stays there for a day and then gets a head coaching job in the NFL. So
no kidding.
Mm-hmm. He can find great quarterbacks, but now did he have?
He must interview very well.
He must, man. I don't know what it is. Maybe he wears like a whole lot of Stetson or something, but whatever the case, leaves that top button down. But whatever the case, he's getting those jobs, man.
Never underestimate the power of a good V-neck.
That's right. That's exactly right. It's a sure thing, foolproof interview getter every time. Yeah. So. No, the coaching hires of the Texas Tech football program have been awful disappointing. Now, our basketball, we've had interesting. Obviously, it all started with Bobby Knight when we were at Tech, and that was an exciting thing to be a part of. But obviously, this last 2-3 year run we've had was obviously exciting, and I don't know how I didn't know that he was a Longhorn guy. Not only that he went there, but that he also assistant coached there. But whatever the case, it was awful disappointing. But when I found that out, I'm like, he's going there.
If there ever comes a day where me and you are talking about assistant coaches in NCAA, then I'm going to riot.
Yeah, well, there we are.
Man, how about that assistant coach at Creighton? He's pretty damn good.
I don't know. I had my guy on that guy at Pepperdine. He was that lacrosse coach, man. He had that great record over there at UC Santa Barbara, and now he moved up to Pepperdine, man. Dude, he's going to take lacrosse all the way to state.
I was kind of hoping we would hire Darvin Ham just so we could see that highlight every time you go to a game.
Just see that freaking backboard just shatter, man.
And we were watching that game growing up, and I was leaving the room, and it was like in my vision, I could see him going up to dunk this. They missed a shot, and he went up and dunked it in. And as I got to the wall, you could just hear like my brother went nuts.
Wow!
Which of course I got to see the replay several thousand times. But I was a split second away from seeing it live.
Yeah. That was it's great. It was a great day to be a part of history, even though you didn't do anything. That's pretty great. Yeah, that's great.
So speaking of Lubbock. Darvin Ham won a championship with the Pistons in 2004, and Lubbock threw him like a little parade. I think not the whole team, just him.
Damn, that was a little ham-handed of him, wasn't it?
that was very nice.
Yeah,
you talk about a fan favorite.
But yeah, Patrick Mahomes, he wins the Super Bowl and
nothing.
I'm
not even sure if Darvin Ham was at this parade. I just know they did a little something for him.
No, I think for Patrick Mahomes, I think he still does a commercial for maybe a dealership in
Lubbock, isn't it? Like Nissan or something. I mean, it's one of those.
I know it's not who are the guys that freaking defrauded everybody?
Oh no, it's not Rigger Dykes. I think
Not
it's
Rager
Amarillo.
Dykes. Yeah, Rager Dykes. Yeah, he's probably not doing Rager Dykes Auto. No, that was probably been a bad spot.
Yeah, he called an audible on that one.
He did. He did. Well, they were doing flea flickers all the time, double counting their autos. So, yeah, it's
So who do you have doing your car commercials? I always quarterback for the Chiefs, MVP, Super Bowl champ. He owns part of the Royals. He's a good kid.
kind of a douche.
Just signed a $500 million contract. He's a good egg.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, let's see. That's what I got. I've got one more thing. Whenever and I think this is pretty common, but whenever you see somebody and like with your buddy or with your wife, usually it's the wife, but you see somebody and you say, hey, you know who he looks like or she looks like? And you say like such and such. And like the reaction, not only do they not agree with you, they vigorously disagree with you. They give you that look like, no, he doesn't look anything like him. Do you get that? Because I get that.
No, I must be pretty good at this because my wife always usually cracks up. Like we were watching Dateline the other night and this girl was talking. She was like 20. I said if that girl had a lightning bolt on her head, she would be Harry Potter. And my wife, I think she's still giggling about that. But. Well,
Landon, I try to talk. I try to usually compare them with actual living human beings, but you know.
Well, like another time we were watching Dateline, and there was these detectives talking, and I was like, "Man, this guy looks like a fat Jerry Seinfeld."
Now there you go. Now that's good.
So we were watching this with her parents. We're over there laughing, and her mom's kind of getting mad, and like. About every 15 seconds, I would go, want to get some pizza?
Yeah, right.
Because that's what a fat Jerry Seinfeld would want to do.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's like, yeah, she's like, do you know you look like Stewie from from Family Guy? Head shape and all. Oh, man, yeah. Man. No, but it seems like, I don't know what it is. People just whenever I say somebody looks like somebody, like the one person, so we got a friend, and there's a baseball player, played for the Texas Rangers, David Murphy, looked exactly like a friend of ours that farms and went to tech with, and he's actually in our fraternity. And that was the first time she ever agreed with me on comparing, saying somebody looked like somebody else. And there was really no debate. Scott Borman.
Oh, yeah.
David Murphy. Yeah.
Yeah, they compared each other.
Oh, yeah. They look just like each other. So, and anyway, she actually agreed with me. So, it was
yeah. The one was left-handed. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't think he's left. I think he's a righty, but whatever.
David Murphy's a lefty.
David Murphy's a lefty, yeah, but not Scotty.
I'm just kidding.
But anyway, so I don't know, people, but it's just but it doesn't matter who it is. It's always a vigorous disagreement. Like, okay, sorry.
Maybe
I'm
you're
sorry.
just not good at it.
I'm sorry. No, you didn't let me finish. I'm sorry you feel that way, but he still does look like Peter Griffin, But I don't know. It just always.
You would just appreciate it more if she just gave you a huh.
Yeah. Well, or just give me a maybe a little. I do that. Maybe a little, but that I don't go. No, he doesn't. Are you what? Anyway,
I think with my wife when we're watching something, she's just happy that I'm not quoting the next line 3 seconds before it comes out.
Yep. I know it. Oh, it's a great time to be. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna get out of here. Landon, where do we find you on Twitter?
Oh gosh, where do you know? I'm just kidding.
I know.
No Twit Landon 44.
This dude follows more people than a serial killer.
Whatever.
That's right. No Twit Landon 44, and you can find me at Trader Brent. We'll both tweet out the episode link to this podcast, and you can also find us all over the Global Ag Network. That is also where you can find our good friend Casey Seymour's podcast, The Moving Iron Podcast, or is it just Moving Iron Podcast? And I think he's at Moving Iron LLC on Twitter, and then, of course, he's all over the podcast sphere with Spotify and SoundCloud and iTunes and all that good stuff, just like we are. So check him out. Check us out. Give us a good review, and if you give us a bad one, please be clever and funny about it, and we'll read it on the air. And it'll give us something to riot about. So, guys, until next time, y'all be cool. Y'all be safe. Start getting that corn planted because it's only going to get to $8 one time in your lot. Well, no, it's been twice. So maybe this third time we'll get to $8 and we'll make some money. So, guys, until next time, we'll ask you, what side of the line are you on?
The Dryline Farmer Podcast, a member of the Global Ag Network. There's podcasts, and then there's this, the Dryline Farmer Podcast.